Greetings, scholars. Welcome back. Today, what we are going to see how we can read effectively. This is an important factor that determines the success and failure of your research. Effective reading is an important part of a effective, successful research. So watch this video, make notes while you watch, use headsets so that you get good concentration as you watch and listen what I say here. Most scholars they read a lot because scholars they read a lot, but the challenge is effectiveness. Effective reading is not just reading, or it is not speed reading. It is purposeful reading. So note this one. Effective reading is purposeful reading. What is a purposeful reading? A purposeful reading is reading with clarity, reading with direction, reading with that produces an output. So when you read, there should be a purpose. The purposeful reading will be reading with clarity, with a direction, and that produces a output. So whenever we read, it should be effective. So in this video, I will show you simple methods that will help you to read faster, understand deeper, and extract insights as you read for your micro research or for your major research. So this is a good video. It is going to help you for your PhD journey. Now, why effective reading is important? When you do research, it is not about reading books, but it is actually reading the right things in the right way. And I also want to add in the right time also. Because you need reading as you start, as you frame up your research questions. So I repeat once again, reading should be the right thing. You should read the right thing in the right way. So when you are reading, three things happens. Because if you don't have that focused reading, I can call it as ineffective reading. When you are in an ineffective mode, three things happens to us. First thing, you feel overwhelmed. Why this happens? Because you don't have a direction. You don't know what you have to read. You start taking research articles, read books. So, you keep on reading, but still it don't produce an output. So you will overwhelmed. And when you start your research, either it is micro or your major research, this reading should help you to connect your ideas. So if the reading is not effective, you will not be able to connect your ideas. The end of this, the big deal, you will struggle to do your review of literature. Why we read? The major anchorage is for sorting out our review of literature. But if the reading is ineffective, things will go bad. But if you have effective reading, the research questions, either it is for your micro or major research, it becomes more and more sharp. The sharpness of a researcher depends upon what gains while you read. So it is more important. If you have effective reading, your research questions become sharp. When your research questions are sharper, your conceptual clarity increases. Your conceptual clarity increases. So your knowledge gap become more visible. The research gap or the knowledge gap become more visible. So now you can write with confidence because you get logical association. So this is the purpose of effective reading. So don't make reading as a passive activity. In fact, it is an active tool of your research. It is an active tool of analysis. So now, I'm going to tell you the better method, an easy method in which you can follow, or a 3-level research reading framework. This will help you to save time, produce better output, stay away from that overwhelming stress, and literally you can see a logical association of what you wish to do through your research. So every researcher should follow a 3-level reading structure. This 3-level reading structure will help us to avoid confusion, avoid information overloading, and save hours of time. There is a big challenge when you are overloaded with information. You cannot stick on what you're doing. You keep on moving. At the end, you will reach nowhere. So the level 1 is called as skimming for relevance. The things what comes in front of you, you have to think, should I read this? So for that, the technique what we can do, we can spend 2 to 3 minutes and look for the title, the abstract, the keywords, the headings, the conclusion, year of publication, country or the region from the research is done, and data sets and methodology. So this is the first skimming technique. So then you ask yourself, does this article connects to me? Does it article connects to me, my topic, my variables, the gap, or the region? If yes, this is very important. If yes, then you go to level 2. Otherwise, just keep it away. So the level 1 part is skimming, whether you have to get into that article. You can spend less than 2 minutes, 120 seconds for this one. So you are saving time. Now, if the article or the publication what you have seen that passes level 1, then move to level 2. Here become selective reading. So we have to see what is useful for my research or your research, because you are reading with a purpose. You are skimming with a purpose. So what is going to happen? Then you start reading that bit more focused. What is the problem statement mentioned? Does it have some matching to your logical ideas of your research? So check the background of the problem. Then you look for the conceptual definitions. Then look for the variables. Read the theoretical foundation, research gap mentioned by the researcher, and look for the findings, whether these are relevant to your topic, any limitations. So the limitations will give you an idea whether you can explore further. So if the research what you are proposing is on a same area of the article what you are reading, so if you look at the limitations, it will also, this will help you to extract what strengthens your research and your main research concept. So after you do well, after you do your level 1 skimming, go a bit more deep of a selective reading on level 2. Now, if these things goes better, then you go for deep reading. So this is level 3. This deep reading, in fact, is going to help output, to produce output by reading that article or publication. So in level 3, you are going for deep reading, where you check how do I use this in my writing. What is mentioned, the points that sparks you by the article done by the researcher, how it is going to be used in your research. This is where you have to invest time. So this deep reading helps you to write your review of literature. It will help you to anchorage your justifications, the problem statement, and your micro or major research background. Now, just don't read. Now you are going to the actual process. Read with a pen. Take notes. Highlight concepts. If you are using a library book, you cannot highlight. But if you are using research articles, there are tools in which you can highlight. Then you have to ask. Now, this is the interaction between the article or the publication, what you read, with you. This will be the outcome for your review literature. So you interact. While you go for deep reading, you interact. Is this article, is this research, is going to support my argument? Is something missing? We are searching for the gaps in the initial stage. What is missing? So if you find something missing, now how I can improve? This is the best part. How I can improve? Now, if you see what is contradictory, I'm not going to say this with examples because the video will be lengthy. So when you make deep reading, you have to ask how this article or these points mentioned can support my argument or something contradictory, what is missing, or how can I improve. So this is where actual research scholarship is built. So deep reading produces deep understanding, and it will give confidence to you as a researcher. Now, how to make notes effectively? When you read, how can we make these notes effectively? I used to say a RFE method or mode, which I used to say as record, reflect, and extract. So you use these words: record, reflect, and extract. What is this record, reflect, extract? See, when you read, this is the way in which you are going to capture what you are reading. Right after reading, just don't keep on reading. It will not produce an outcome. So after reading 2-3 lines, summarize what the author is saying. So when you read, maybe it's not necessary that you have to read 2-3 lines, but at least a paragraph. Or when you see that, okay, now I can summarize what is mentioned by. Keep it on one side. Then the next is reflection. So you got what the author mentioned. Now you reflect. Add 1 to 2 lines on what you think. Do you agree? Does it match to your context? Does it relate to your variables? I usually watch the television, the TV shows where a lot of discussions happens between people, and they all have one major concept. They are discussing on one point. So like these television discussions or the shows, what you see, what the publication saying, what you are saying. So this is a kind of argument, exchange of thought process. This should reflect on your reading. So this is the reflection. Now, when like a television discussion, at the end they extract something. So similarly, what the author said, what your points you summarize, then you extract. This is the output of what you read. And this is the most key important part. You extract. and it will give you how it is going to help your research. Does this is going to support your gap? Can I strengthen my research background a bit more better? Is that going to help my conceptual framework? So you read, then you reflect, and the reading and reflection gives you an extraction and output for what you read. So this is important. Now, when you read, how we are going to connect your reading to your knowledge gap? Because in my previous videos, I've already told you what is knowledge gap. So if you are not aware of that one, if you are not clear, please refer to my previous videos. When reading, or when you are reading, you must continuously look for absence. This is one method. One side we are looking for that is matching to you, context, similarity. The other side, if it is to your similar context, then you look for the absence, which is not present. So this is the major way in which we can extract the knowledge gap. So we can say the knowledge gap appears when the study is outdated, temporal. The other one, the study is done in a different context. So that is contextual gap. If one variable is missing, or the methodology was weak, the sample size is less, there was no real focus on the population of study, there is no clear linkage or relation between the variables, no practical stakeholder output. The major part of research is a practical stakeholder output. So these are the major gaps which you are going to see. So your reading should answer. When you read, it should tell what did others do? What did they not do? Now what I can do. So this question has to come. And this is the success of, or the secret of building your micro research or your major research. So, we have to create a routine also for this. You cannot read at your convenience. I always suggest get up a bit early in the morning before your family gets up. Because we have to read with a purpose, and we should be less distracted. So the better way to gain momentum in reading, it must be done consistently. Every day, minimum 20 minutes you should spend for effective reading. And I'll tell you, this will help your research major challenges to be sorted out. Review of literature, it's a major challenge. You will know how hard it is, how ruthless it is when you come to the real review of literature. So let me suggest few simple routine, or a simple routine what you can do. 5 minutes, as I told, level 1 skimming. 10 minutes selective reading. Then 5 minutes extracting. So that 20 minutes, it's going to add, if you take 6 days a week or 7 days a week, 140 minutes. So at least you can work with 5 articles a week. And in a month, you can literally map your literature map or review of literature map. So consistency beats intelligence in research. That is more important. You may be highly intelligent, you are a super human being, but if you are not consistent, so the research will not be reaching, or your research will not reach in the right direction. So one strong article a day changes your entire research confidence. One strong article. This is more important. So my scholars, I wish to conclude. Today we have discussed how to set on and organize the effective reading. read with purpose. Follow the 3-level structure. That is from skimming to extraction. Capture the reading, reflection, extraction. The 3 stages. Then connect reading with your knowledge gap. The final word is maintain a daily discipline. Initially, you may find it as challenging, but it is not challenging. You will set into that. So, if you master effective reading, your research will be on the clear track. Your writings will be strong. If you want to write more, you have to read more. And your entire PhD trajectory will become smooth. Scholars who are watching me, I thank you for watching this one. Stay focused, stay committed, and continue your research journey with clarity. All the best for today, and hope this video is going to help you. Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Paul, signing off for today. Thank you.